on this episode, we're going to cover about expectations and the umbrella of... What am I trying to say? Take Marthani. The umbrella of expectations.
No.
The umbrella of expectation.
Yeah.
Difficult to cheer up. It's hot, la? Am I shining?
No, you're good.
Do I look cheery?
Watch it.
Someone says something funny. On today's episode... خليني يخلص جوعان والله. لا بخلص خلاص. On today's episode.
First of all, why does it have to be you?
اليوم بنتكلم عن الزواج. مريحة. خلاص وصل بالعربي I can't.
Alright, so today we're going to talk about expectations that people have during marriage from the couple's perspective as well as from the family's perspective. We're going to try to cover as much as possible if we have time. And with that, we begin the episode.
Bad. I'm assuming our preparation process were different just from our discussion before recording this one. Tell me about your processes.
Okay, I'll go first. Basically, I started with like jotting down a lot of questions that I had. I went back into like my old journals and just looking at things that I kind of
listed.
Yeah, that I listed, and I just felt like it's just so funny to see like the difference between the way that I was thinking 5 years ago as opposed to the way that I think today. It was always more about the other person than it was about me. Just like the difference between back then and now, I think I am more interested in where I'm at rather than trying to find like a person that kind of suits the idea that I have in my head. And I think that to a certain extent, there are times in your life where you can actually feel ready and you might actually be ready, but then you kind of regress because you might not have found that a person at that particular time. Does that make sense?
Again, when you say ready, I don't think that anybody can be 100% ready. It's just how ready are you to face anything.
And that's what I mean, that there's a time in your life where you are, and then it kind of changes because circumstances change, you know, you're dealing with more things. So yeah, basically I came here without notes. But yeah, we're just gonna wing it and let's see what happens.
see you will never be ready for this. Whether for marriage or anything else. It's just you need to take your gut and make it happen.
Can that sometimes be... Can it be too soon sometimes for some people?
Yes. But anyways, you have to do it. From one like first person perspective, you will not be able to know actually it is ready or not. But there is other stuff or elements can actually tell you that you are ready or no.
Gender-wise, I think it's different as well. We're talking about the phase before marriage, right? What's the first thing we think about, men, when it comes to marriage?
Financials.
Financial state, right? The financial state is, if it's not number one, it's at least number two. Whereas to the women, I don't assume that's what you really think about when it comes to marriage.
It's definitely something important, but I think the most important part is like the communication.
Emotional stability.
And emotional stability, yeah.
So when I say marriage, what are the first words that come to your mind?
Connection.
And?
Zahma.
Zahma?
Yo.
What?
For real?
What?
Okay.
What else? What are the first words that...
Ideas.
Zahma in a good way?
Could be.
I'm trying to save you, man.
No, yani, there's you will be going through so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yani, traffic of ideas.
I get that
It is
because
zahma.
it's literally worlds colliding, two worlds colliding, and you have to find a way to create some kind of harmony between that both.
No, but just pay attention. We're talking about the process now. We're talking about the phase just before marriage. So that's why zahma is interesting, because it is zahma, especially in our culture in the Middle East.
Yeah, just saying, the ideas you need to bring up, as she said, it has to be balanced. So what? Before or after, and good for both sides. It's
What
not-
ideas?
Like, does it really suit both of you?
Marriage?
Not just marriage, anything you guys going to be doing at that moment or later on.
Do you guys want the same thing or not?
Maybe, Yani, maybe you might be sharing values, maybe you will be having certain lifestyle you guys want to live.
Yeah.
So you have to know, is it suitable for both of you or no?
Yeah. Okay.
I will not rush.
Yeah.
Go.
No, I was gonna say I like where this is going, because we got financial status, we've got emotional status, let's call it, and then we got
Zahma.
zahma.
This is just what pops, like what words pop in your mind once you hear marriage.
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Marriage or the process before marriage?
just marriage.
Just marriage.
I think stability.
To me, tranquility.
That's on your bio too, is it?
That's no,
Oh, no, that's another-
equanimity.
Yeah.
I'm with the ET.
Okay.
I like ETs. Yeah. What about you?
Emotional stability, family, love.
I mean, I say
Yeah, you mean
connection.
love or
In the bigger sense, but this used to be what comes, and it's still what comes. But again,
That's why
it's
I was saying
changing.
connection rather than
Yeah.
than love.
emotional stability بشكل عام يعني. But it's changing. My view on marriage is changing.
I feel like it's important to also make the distinction that the two of you are married and the
we're
two of
taking a side,
us
yes.
Yeah.
are not married.
Yeah.
So I hear you, but I feel like
Aisha, we don't want to bring Manu and Jibalait.
we're not. No, I'm just saying that
We're just
the
curious.
two of you are coming from a different perspective than the both of us, because for us it's really at that stage where we're like speaking about what's going to happen before. So I just thought that for the viewers, it's important for you guys to know where we're at.
If you were to choose two things you wish you knew before marriage, what would they be?
The whole definition of it. The expectations that I had and the beliefs that I had that I took from society and from friends and what I saw. I would change that. Second thing, I feel like now I realize it's more about what can I offer, how can I serve, rather than what do I want and how can I take.
Compromising. You know?
No, I think it's more about service. We'll get to that later.
Triggered!
What about you?
I don't know what to say about this, to be honest. I've seen a lot of experiences in my life, so I've been through a lot, and I've seen a lot of marriage cases were actually good or bad, so I was taking here and that. So I don't.
So far you're not surprised with
No.
anything.
No,
Okay. No new information, no new knowledge.
not really بعدين هذاك شيء ثاني بعدين.
Mm-hmm.
But before I didn't really have difficulties, to be honest.
Before marriage.
Yes.
But when you hear, before you got married, when you hear the word marriage, how do you feel? Do you feel stressed
I
or
was
do you feel like
scared.
happy?
I was scared.
Okay, so it was a bit.
Yeah, I was scared.
What was scary though?
You're taking yourself in another phase of your life, and it's just you're blind. You deciding, but you don't know what's next.
You weren't scared about your partner. You
I
were
was-
most just scared about the process of like merging.
No, I was scared that if I can do it or not.
And you can. So far.
Now I can say yes.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
What are your guys' fears about marriage?
Yes, we want to know.
Fears? I have no fear of marriage.
Really?
Yeah.
You never did? حتى قبل.
That's interesting.
How about you, my love?
Trigger. It's definitely expectations. I think I've managed to get to a point where my expectations are more realistic now than they were before. But I think the expectations that the other person would have of me, do you know what I mean? Kind of like pineapple.
I was just about to say this.
You just
We're seven minutes in.
I don't care, guys. Sorry, but say
Good luck then.
no.
Okay.
What do you mean good luck?
What's coming is
Yeah, my fears about marriage. Shit, man.
Were you afraid in that process since you asked about fear?
Yeah, I did have some fears. Girl.
Should people know that you are bound to be afraid or scared when you're
I
in that
think that's
process?
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think أحس واجد يعني الأقلية اللي they're going in completely confident in themselves. Because I don't think you can be 100% confident in the marriage or the other person. You never know. Right? They're not perfect. Life is not perfect. But how confident are you? To 7.
I was just gonna say, can I unpineapple?
No.
The
No,
second
no.
answer.
Sorry.
Come on.
Sorry.
Why not?
Because you stopped
I
answering.
just said good luck.
What you mean good luck?
You just used it.
Girl,
Who
just
came
elaborate.
Who came up with this one? I was just gonna give you my
Bad
second
you,
point. Because I said pineapple because I didn't want to go into like the second point. I know what the second one is.
Was it something connected to what you were saying?
Kind of. Just like that I would be in a situation with a narcissist who's too confident about themselves. That's my biggest fear. Somebody who just thinks that they know everything and that this is the way. That they're more fixed about things.
We attract who we are, not what we want. And that doesn't have to be the same level of ego or the same level of unconsciousness, but it will be the same energy level, sort of.
Because I feel like sometimes you can attract what you think you want and not what you need. That's the reason why I didn't agree with you. I couldn't articulate it at the time, but I think that's what it is. Is that sometimes you think that you want something and you put it out there and you actually get it, but it's just not what you need.
I think that what happens most times. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, who knows what we need? Allah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Most of the time we think we want something, we really want something, we really need something. It doesn't turn out. We get disappointed and so on. But at the end of the day, كله خير يعني.
Get me like that.
No, I'm sad يعني.
About what?
I'm sad. Why you're on pineapple?
You're still there.
Why? Why is it upsetting you?
Because we're building a culture here.
His
Okay,
big on, his big
I'm
on
not
culture.
going to. I'm not gonna pineapple again. I wanted to unpineapple and share. You don't want me to
Okay.
share. I won't share.
No, you have to share.
No, you don't want me to share. خلاص.
Fine. Next episode, you will not get a pineapple.
What's it like being in that process of خلاص, you know you're gonna get married to this person? I know you said fear. I know you said fear.
Now, before we go to that point, you have to know who.
Yeah, but we're focusing on ourselves now. Right.
How do you know, yani?
You have that person, خلاص.
You have that.
Yeah,
person.
but now concentrate on yourself. What was it like? Where was your mindset?
I'll pass it. I'll get to my point by then.
Oh, was that a pineapple?
No.
That-
Yeah, I'll
that-
come back to this, Yani.
Why would you come back to it?
No, I'm just putting my things together.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
you need time.
Yeah.
The biggest emotion was excitement, راحة, fulfillment. My thought process was thinking about the foundation of this marriage, how to build this foundation, living with this person. At that point, it was more of how am I gonna cope with this, with my husband, not how is he gonna cope with me. So I think that's a very common thing that we fall into.
Can you
I
share
wish-
like your checklist of things that you
Of
like the checklist of things that you were thinking about in order for you to cope? Like what exactly did you need to have in place in order for you to feel like you could cope with that?
we had conversations about the biggest things but very generally, values, beliefs, kids, money, family, lifestyle. So we had conversations about these stuff before we got married. Those were the things that I wanted to get off my list. That was my process. Would I have the same process now? I don't think so. It would be different now. But that was the experience.
From my own perspective, I was trying to convince myself, and no, whatever this is going to happen, it's nothing like, how do you call that, fairy tales, stories.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is we're just normal people. We have to decide, plan what we're gonna do. So I had that conversation before, how I'm going to take my life, how I'm going to live it, lifestyle, money, everything, kids, everything. Just for clarity between two parties.
I think that process is,
It's very good.
it's
You narrow it
there is
down.
value in it.
Yes,
but I would take a different route
maybe.
now.
We're talking about the things that people, it's important for people to know before getting into marriage, right? I thought of, because you guys were mentioning like good stuff, but sometimes there are stuff that are not very good. You know, I have friends, I have cousins who went through, especially when it comes to arranging big weddings and stuff. I think what happens between the two, like the bride and the groom, is good. Talking, communicating, and all. بس there's another section where the guy goes into another zone, and it's because of the big weddings. It's not a good place to be. Like we've seen them, they might, you know, some of them might have not mentioned it to the fiance at the moment, or the family of the bride at the moment. But when we guys sit, it
really
pains
the
them. It
answer.
pains them. Yeah. Right.
What, are you talking about the wedding preparation,
The
everything?
preparation, everything. Yeah.
It takes the biggest part of your thought process.
Yeah, especially that. First of all, let's just say something. Most guys, most men don't want big weddings. Let's just set that straight. I'm saying
yeah,
most. I'm saying most.
I'm out of this, yes.
I'm saying most. I'm saying most. Okay. Most men do it just because they want to please the bride. Am I saying anything wrong?
No, I have something to cope with
Okay.
this one, yes. I think men want to do everything in life, but when it comes to wedding, they just want peace.
Well, yeah, because that's what we think of the marriage.
Yes.
We think of marriage, when it comes to marriage, we think tranquility, we think peace. having that burden is not peace, right?
I think weddings are the biggest distraction to the real thing. What marriage is about. What women expect. Big marriages, wedding, zahma.
No, but the thing is, I don't.
Those are the general expectations. The general focus is on that one night.
Can I just ask, do you think that all women want big weddings because they want big weddings? Or is it also for the women to please their families? Because, like, personally, I don't. That's what just gives me anxiety.
But...
Like,
I don't know, man. Like, okay, you're saying you don't want it?
Yeah, like being in a room full of like hundreds and hundreds of people.
So here's the thing, we keep hearing this.
Why?
We keep hearing this, but we still see big weddings.
Because the thing is, you come from a big family. It's also really difficult to like limit that guest list to, يعني, people are gonna feel some kind of way from both sides if you
Who's
don't
getting
get
married?
invited.
Who's getting married?
I know that, but I'm just saying that like in the end of the day, you come from a family where you have people who are in your close circle. It affects. If you don't invite certain people, they're not going to invite
especially if you're the eldest.
I think we should.
You know what I mean? Like
I think
there's
as
a
parents,
lot.
hold on. I think as parents, you should think: is the well-being of my kid more important than the well-being or the pleasure of the guests?
That's what we say, but do they do that?
That's what I'm saying. Like you're saying, it's because of the guests. It's because of the family.
You also don't.
But
know.
am I going to put my kid, my son, for example, through that burden just because of the family, the rest of the family, عشان ما يزعلوا?
But I think that what you also need to know is a lot of the things that happen during the wedding, like also the decisions, it's not necessarily up to the bride, right?
Okay. I think all of this is a major distraction to people finding their the basis of the marriage or knowing each other.
It will be a distraction, but at the same time, don't you think that it sets the tone, the way that the whole process goes, like to start your marriage with that tone of like having to go through all of that anxiety?
I'll tell a story of a guy. We used to be close. He told me this story, his story. By the time wedding date came, he was flat, almost flat. Meaning all his savings had gone to everything. Preparation on marriage. All good, right? Months later, maybe more than a year later, they had an argument, the bride and the groom, and sometimes things from the past come up. And basically سمعوه something like أنا حتى honeymoon ما رحت. Do you see what happens? We might think of just now or just a few months later, بس مرات يجي something comes.
Is this what you expect?
We don't expect
from yourself, and I have to provide. Do you expect that from yourself? Do you think society is expecting you to provide financially for the wedding, for the هذا?
Yes.
Okay, why do you go for it? If it's not your belief, if you think هذا كله it's just a show or a facade or unnecessary, why do men still go for it?
Are you saying that's the solution to what's going on?
No, I'm asking.
Because if I want to get married to a person, I will try my best to get married to that person.
So those are the conditions?
Yeah, most of the time there are conditions.
Who puts those conditions?
Most probably
the bride.
Family.
Yeah.
The family's bride or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so في خلل في الموضوع. You're not marrying the family, right?
You have to marry the family.
You do marry the family, of course.
I know you're against this. I know you're against this, but that's the هذا الواقع اللي احنا عايشين فيه الحين.
Okay.
For a while.
جالسين نحاول نفكك هذا الواقع. وين المشكلة؟
المشكلة I think إنه في ناس في بعض الناس I'm not gonna say أهالي or brides غيرهم حتى شو اسمه the grooms يعني. They put so much emphasis and focus on the wedding.
where, how, everything. Yeah.
That's how I want to present myself قدام الناس. You know, that's how I want to present myself in Melka. That's how I want to present myself in the wedding.
Okay.
And they would do the impossible to achieve that. بس بعدين when it's all done خلاص راجعين البيت, that's when they start complaining. Both sides, because خلاص they're together now. Right? They're living together. So this is where I think it's ego based. And I think ego based. I would say if I was to choose one word for it, it's ego based.
But do you think this pandemic actually helped?
Yeah, this
it.
was a blessing in disguise. And you got married.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Anna, it was very easy for me. I didn't get a lot of things to distract me, let's say. It was easy for me to go.
Okay. Going back to the expectations. Society expects you to provide financially. Women expect men to provide financially. Where does this belief come from? A lot of women get married because I'm going to get a car, I'm going to get a house, I'm going to carry on with my business, open up a business,
I can finally have the freedom that I
I
need.
can have my freedom. I can, freedom is a big thing.
Good to hear it from their side, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Where
a big
are
thing.
those expectations coming from, and why can't we be dependent on ourselves to get those things? Why are we dependent on men and marriages to be able to achieve
But
them?
the thing is, it's not in every single household. A lot of people are opening up now. I mean, in every marriage, you don't think that it's just the men. Like in this day and age, you need both people to be working. Let's be real. Times are tough. So I think that there is a change. It's not everywhere, but it's happening.
Yeah, it's not like 10 years back.
Yeah, women are also speaking up now because we finally have the means to be able to support ourselves. So now, like, your husband can't really tell you what to do anymore because you're not the one who's bringing home the bacon. The both of us are in this now. So
شوف
things
نحن
are
ايش قاعدين
changing.
نقول هي ايش قاعدة تقول.
No.
What? You want to hear more than one perspective. I'm just
whatever
saying.
I have to say
yani.
now, it's me and my wife, we decided to say this. Anything we go through, we're going through it together. Whether you like it or you don't like it, we will go through it. We collapse, we win, whatever. And this is a really good concept just to take your boat to the...
You mean that's like
Yeah,
a conversation
it
you
takes
guys
you-
had before?
Yeah. Till today, we do have that. To take yourself on a safe shore.
So do you feel like you also had the conversation where, like, if one of you is sinking, you take turns stepping up?
That's why you're
That's good.
together.
Yeah.
This is one of the main things.
Yeah. Like, you don't both have to step up at the same time. Sometimes if I'm drowning.
Yeah, if you're let's say
go
if
for
you're
it.
sick, you can't stand, so someone has to take care of you.
But what do you mean by that, though? In terms of what? Because he mentioned sickness. What did you mean? I feel like
Yeah,
you meant
'cause it
something
could-
else.
No, but it could
Yeah,
mean anything.
Yes.
Sickness is one of them, but it could be like if emotionally you feel like you are in a bad place, you lose your job,
Right.
you know?
I would say because we hear people say that it's a 50-50%, like 50-50. But it's not always. Some days you're gonna feel 20%, and the other must take the whole 80. And on another day it might be 40, must take the 60, or try to be
And what are you talking about?
in living together. It's not going to be about 50-50 in everything. When it comes to giving, when it comes to just anything.
Do you have, again, I'm going back to expectations. Do you have expectations of how they're going to provide for you, let's say financially, psychologically, emotionally, socially?
I think that in certain aspects, if you have that already in place from the beginning, that let's say financially, I'm not going to work, you're going to be the one who's providing. That's a separate thing. That's an agreement.
Providing what? let's talk about the reality الحين woman providing what?
Listen, if
what
you
is
give her the opportunity, she'll ask for all of it. Why not? You're willing to give? Why not?
I think she meant financially when she said
Yeah.
sitting home and then صح.
Yeah.
Okay, مثلا let's take financially as an example. If he gives me everything, I'll take it. Why not? الحين men, do you think you should give everything? What do you think is your responsibility to provide financially for a woman?
Bring food on the table. That's the main one.
Food on the table and
Just be there when money needed, I guess.
so food on the table. Let's say
It's
a
money-wise,
roof
so-
on her head هذا شرعا and clothes, right?
You're talking about the financial part?
Financially الحين example. When it comes to the other things that
I'm
are
just smiling because
expected
I'm just like...
that are expected to be provided by you يعني car سفرات all the other extra things. Are men able to say no to that? Because it is, do you think it's your responsibility or not?
It's not a responsibility.
But
If you're able to do it and you want to do it, why not? Why is that supposed to be a
Doesn't that-
responsibility?
because it's what women expect.
Then on that analogy, are you going to do everything expected from you, from the guy, from a man? No. Right? Unless you are able to do it, you have the ability to do it, you have the capacity to do it, you will do it.
But do you go يعني what I'm trying to get at, how much, like how high do you put your expectations? الحين هذا الexample كان financially, but how high do you put your expectations when it comes to emotional stability?
Okay, when it comes to expectations, I feel like personally, I have my baseline things. So I don't expect you to be 100%. Because we've spoken about this. When it comes to like our emotional stability, I don't think that we're ever going to be at the best point, like any, that we're going to be a blank slate. You're still going to come with your own stuff that happened to you. You have your triggers. I just want you to know, are you aware? Are you aware of your triggers? Are you aware of the things that affect you so that you don't come into this relationship and bleed on me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the way I do it is like addressing it the moment I have it. Not necessarily every time, but you have to address it. Just not to bleed later on.
But if you don't come with that understanding from the beginning that these are the things that like affect me, if you're not able to understand that for yourself later on يعني in the relationship, you're going to end up hurting other people that are around you, especially your partner.
Yeah, if you think that you're going to hurt them later on, so this is the best way you know that you're supposed to address it at that moment.
I think that I find it very difficult to like address it in the moment. I'm
not necessarily يعني when it's happening, but it doesn't really take time, months, years, but then you have to come and address it because
You'll bleed.
Coming back.
Yeah. Things will come up. Yeah.
I'm actually really curious about what you were trying to say by like things come up. You're talking about like the things that you didn't do financially.
As in, yeah. So, okay. So, the guy was talking about couldn't finance honeymoon because of the wedding arrangements. And at the time, everything was cool. Both were cool. She understood. Let's do the wedding. They had an argument months later, or even more than a year later. That came up. Like they had an argument, and then and then comparison starts to happen, and then she said something like حتى honeymoon أنا ما رحت.
And this triggers the men so
But the
hard.
thing is, like, did they have a conversation in advance? Like, this is something that we're not gonna do, and they're both cool because that's
what
just
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They were cool
But that's just petty. That's not something that I would even say like you project it onto a relationship. That's the
If this came up more than a year later, this was in. This was
For a
in
whole
here
year.
and here. Yeah.
of all the things to hold on to.
Yeah.
Yani, really?
Yeah, why
That's
not?
sad.
Maybe she sees on Instagram her friends or Snapchat, her friends are going on
Yeah, there's
honeymoon,
maybe there's
honeymoon
another
on trips.
influences,
Yeah.
yes.
And she's thinking, I didn't even, go to Sahar.
The thing about Sahara, I literally cannot.
But you get me. Are we good? In terms of...
It's the Sahara.
It's a Sahar.
Why do you love Sahara so much?
I worked in Sahar for 5 months, so I love Sahar. In terms of expectations and communication, I'm assuming you guys had communicated with your spouses before a marriage. Did that play any role? Okay. Was that any good? Did you feel like that was important?
Yes. I think the communication is actually the baseline of shaping this relationship happen.
Okay.
Yes, it did help, but the work I started doing after I got married helped me way more. If I could go back in time, I would do the work that I'm doing now, the inner work, and then set my new intention for marriage and go ahead from there. So I think the conversations were important, but I would have done it differently from what I know now.
So, what exactly are the things that you would have done differently?
I'll answer that. I would say this word was in just my head. Before you do that, I think you need to just you love yourself. I mentioned this earlier, but you have to love yourself. You have to know who are you and what do you want.
Yes.
Then you guys can talk.
I think I was very foggy before. All the things that I'm trying to learn about myself now are for me to evolve and grow and be a better servant or in service of others. What I would do differently is do this inner work first, whatever it is. For me, it's reading books, it's meditation, it's therapy, getting to know myself, figuring out my life's purpose. واضح إنه it's a lot is expected from you even before you stepped in marriage. A lot already is expected.
You didn't know before that?
No, I know, بس لأنه this example was brought in by you حسيت إنه it was, and it's a huge thing. لا, it's a huge thing. The wedding is a huge thing. As I said, it's a distraction. It's an expectation of everyone. من طلع هذا expectation إنه you have to have a big wedding. And why can't we say no?
Thank you very much about that. See, again, هذا الweddings صراحة we're only copying what people do.
كلها aunties ترى.
It's not
aunties.
But the thing is, it's not just.
Hey, you don't know me.
No, but the thing is, it's not just copying what people do. It's also like when it comes to what people will judge about like what your standard is. People are trying to show face and trying to keep up appearances. Like this is, do you know what I mean? Like it's all about like how showy can I be, and we're all trying to show other people that we can do it better than the last person. When people go to weddings, what do they do? By the way, women
Sit and judge.
Lord have mercy. Like the food, it was so dry. Look at her dress.
هذا كومنتي والله شوف هذا هذا شوف كيف ملابسه شوف هذه مع وجه
اكل ما حلو مال عرس.
Yeah.
basically
شوف مكياجها.
تسريحه. The wedding is all about صراحة ضيوف.
أيوة, it's not even the bride and the groom.
Never.
But who cares about الضيوف? The groom
The
and the bride, they
aunties,
don't.
the
I know it's
aunties.
Going back again to the same thing. منهم في النهاية حنمشي على الكلچر.
بس ما دام الانتيز
كيف ما نسوي
ما دام الانتيز let's not you know let's not blame the aunties all the time. Yes واجد في واجد مواقف aunties بس نفس الشيء في واجد مواقف the individuals themselves. Yeah.
يعني don't blame the circumstances.
Yeah.
Blame yourself for not being able to set a boundary.
Right. What can you do to change that? You said you didn't like it, and you're telling me I want مثلا a simple wedding. Show me that you want a simple wedding. Don't say والله my mom, والله my aunt.
It's not as easy as you think, though.
Let's say the
It's not as
bride
easy as
and
you
groom
think. These
don't want a wedding. The bride and the groom. So ما في شيء nothing is stopping them. بنتزوج عرس صغير عرس كورونا.
But some people stop marrying. They actually like
Yeah.
don't want to get married anymore because of the conflict. Like,
It's crazy. It's
because
crazy.
of the
والله.
families conflict.
ليش يتداخل ليش يعني it's between the future husband and wife.
To me, boundaries come here. Knowing how to set boundaries.
By the way, saying that
It's so
and
much
being
easier.
in the situation, you
Yeah.
know that it's very different.
Yeah.
Because you literally have people like on top of your head and they're projecting and they shame you and they make you feel bad. Like, what are people gonna think? If you come from a household where those things really get to you, where it's all about how you show face, this is also another value that you have.
I think right now I'm at a place in my life that I'm confident enough that I can say.
Yeah, no.
If it was gonna happen now, I can set a boundary. Yeah.
Anyway, before getting to your point, I just want to say that we are not trying to educate people because we've been receiving some comments and they came across as if we're trying to educate people or tell people what to do and how to live. We're not trying to do that. These are folk people talking about their experiences and what they think, just how they live their lives. And we're not trying to project anything on anyone. #disclaimer.
Imagine that everyone in society tells you you're whole and you're complete and you're successful and you can be happy and you're fully loved without getting married. That's the number one. So no expectation from anyone in society that you have to get married. How would that make you feel?
Towards marriage?
No, just how would that make you feel? Yeah, towards marriage.
Like I can breathe.
You think I can see where. So you feel that marriage has, in society's view, marriage has something to do with your value on society.
I don't understand the question.
Okay, from a society point of view, you think the society determines your value according to whether you're married or not?
Oh, for sure. As a woman, for sure.
Was that what you were trying to
Yeah.
get to?
That marriage, especially for women, I think it's for men too, otherwise they wouldn't nag on you as well to get married. But society...
They nag on them because they want them to like move on. They want grandchildren and all of that type of stuff. And that's like fair. But with a woman, because we have a biological clock that's constantly ticking,
Okay.
you know, it comes with those other factors. It's not about wait until you find the right person. It's like get a move on.
Yeah.
It's time, you know? So yeah, that would definitely help a lot. I'm not gonna say that pressure necessarily makes me feel like I should hurry up, because I'm very aware that like you need to be in a good place emotionally in order to, you know.
But do you think without the pressure of that expectation for you to get married,
Would you
I
take
don't know,
marriage lightly?
would that change your
lightly?
perspective on marriage?
Probably not, because I don't get that much pressure for not being married from my direct family. there is a lot of like, you should do it when you're ready. But there are elements and there are moments, like I just said, when it comes to like the biological clock, where they're just like, we want grandchildren, where that comes into play. But it's something that I want, I want to get married, but I just don't feel like I need to just pick somebody for the sake of picking.
Yeah.
Like, I've come this far.
Right. What I wanted to get at is الربط ما بين السعادة والزواج, or success and marriage for any individual, or success in life and having kids. They don't have, like, they're not, this is what I heard yesterday, and it made me think they're not related.
Yeah,
You can be successful, you can be happy, you can be full without getting married. You can be full without having kids. You can have your own dynamic. But that is a pressure that's created by society. Don't we all have it? We've been through it. And when we think about it, like, where did we get that belief? Where is this belief from?
But okay, I understand, and I agree that ما في ترابط بينهم. But we also have to remember that that's just our perspective on happiness and or on success. Some people really believe, and they're fine with believing in marriage is one form of success in my life. Maybe they have a checklist. This is one of the things I want to do. If I do this, I'll feel like I'm successful, and they do it and they feel successful.
I think that's a healthy way to look at it. But when you come and look at society, reality right now, isn't success in life attached to marriage and kids?
It's one aspect of it, but to me it feels like it goes back to those 15 categories I was talking about, that you have to decide whether those are your values and that's what you want.
Another question is that, imagine walking into the marriage and your life partner tells you, I don't expect anything from you. You can be completely yourself and we'll work this out together.
I have those.
Would you marry me? That's how I feel. Marry me now.
I actually have this. For the sake of mentioning it, because I did have that. I said this first, and I was not expecting anything from you. You don't need to impress me. You don't need to do anything. I'm okay with everything you have.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but is it realistic?
If you're convinced,
Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real.
If you're convinced about a person,
I'm realistic.
Oh.
I'm realistic.
Wow.
You have expectations from me right now. I have expectations from you. Everybody has expectations on everybody. Let's be real. Okay. I know that basically what you're trying to say is ما في كذا يعني very very high expectations, بس في some kind of expectations.
There's a common sense expectation.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. How can you not have expectations? You're in marriage for a reason, right?
Yes.
You're married for a reason. So the reason equals expectations.
What are your expectations from your future
I'm not married.
life partner? No.
You're getting away with it.
Wow.
Let's dig.
No.
I don't
What
know.
are
You're not going to
your-
get away with
your
that.
expectations? Or what you...
Still moody. What's my expectation of what?
Marriage, of your life partner.
I don't think I've thought of it that much صراحة يعني, to be honest. Expectation wise. That's my answer.
I feel like you need to answer this question, my
I
friend.
did.
With coming out with a statement like that, you better have answers.
Take your time.
I'm saying you should have expectations. I'm saying you should have expectations.
Yeah, but
Such
what
as...
are
Okay,
they?
no, ما شرط مالك. Such as...
Let me dig into this.
Take your time.
Now, to be a good, let's say, to be a good wife, that's something I'm expecting from her. This is a simple thing, okay? This is a common thing. that's not, this expectation. I'm not supposed to tell her to do this.
No, but they mean something. When you say good wife, they mean specifically what does a good wife mean? That's what they mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you has to agree at the beginning. Who are you? What do you want? Here, kind of you're showing what you're expecting.
Expectation of it's the woman's responsibility to raise the kids, 80%, مثلا. It's the guy's responsibility to provide financially, 80%. For women, I think it's expectation of freedom after getting married.
I don't know what I'm expecting from my future wife so far. It's a discussion I have to have with my future wife, me and her, and we'll figure it out.
So you're saying
So
it
zero.
depends on the person?
I'm not. Yes, it depends on the person. If something is not in you, I can't expect it from you.
If something is what?
Is not in you. If you're unable to fulfill that expectation, I'm not gonna ask you to do that. بالغصب.
Okay.
Was that smooth? Thank you.
Future wife.
For real though, for real though, because I think this is important because you do have you always have expectations, but what if that person is unable to give you that or to provide you that? What then? Is it a deal breaker, yani, because they're not?
This is what I heard yesterday. And what I want to know your opinion on it is that you're ready to get married when you have zero expectations and when you have zero needs. So everything you need, psychologically, emotionally, financially, socially, you can provide for yourself. Because if you expect those things from the other person, you cannot trust that 100% they're going to provide it. في أيام لا، في أيام أيوة، في أيام emotionally فوق، financially تحت.
So when you have zero expectations or needs, that's when you're ready for marriage?
Yeah.
I believe in
Do you
that,
believe?
yes.
Do you believe that?
I believe in that, yes.
Then why are you married?
خلاص.
Trend? يعني it's not trend.
It's not a trend.
Then?
شوف, we are in a trendy situation of getting married.
What are you saying, bro?
I'm saying this. I'm saying this. But
He's speaking some truth.
Contradictions happen. So
we're in a phase that خلاص, we don't have anything. There's a lot of people are got to this train just for the sake of doing it. There is wajid to say that, easy ways to make it happen, but that does not mean you have to do it just because you want to get into the train.
This brings me to the intention of getting married. And this is a bit personal, and you can... Adi, we'll give him 2 pineapples because what was your intention?
Pineapple.
Adi, لكن هذه free, and it's very personal.
Yeah.
For free.
Free, yeah? Free.
I
how
don't
come
know.
he gets a free one?
It's
Aisha,
too
please.
deep. It's too deep.
Whatever.
Please.
I wouldn't be able to answer that as well.
You have to have expectations.
No one's saying that you don't have expectations.
I'm commenting on that, on the statement she read.
But are those expectations fixed? Yani, okay, she can provide emotional support for you. So you expect that from her. She can provide it. You tested it before. It worked. Yani, she has it. It got to a point where she doesn't. And that was your expectation of the marriage. She got into, لا سمح الله, depression. She can't provide it anymore. الشرط راح. The marriage ends.
No, so that's what I was saying. The statement says, if you have zero expectation and zero needs, that's when you're ready for marriage. Mm-hmm. You're always going to have expectations, regardless of whether it's fixed or not. Right? And your expectation might change. They might fluctuate from time to time as you grow. You might have different expectations. Today, my number one.
So they're changeable.
Of course.
So
but you will have expectations.
But you see, like, one of mine is that I expect that things will change. That's one of my expectations. That I'm going into it not saying that this is a fixed situation, me as a person or you as a person.
I think that's healthy. That's a healthy mindset.
Yeah.
This is very crucial. People come in with expectations and think that they're fixed. No. People change. People grow. You will change. If you don't, there's a problem.
That's a narcissist right there. That's what I was trying to say
there's
earlier.
a problem if you think I'm never going to change, or my wife
This
is
is
never
who
going to
I
change.
am.
This is who I am.
And I'm fixed, and I've already been through my life. And this is where I land.
Yeah.
Take me as I am. I'm not gonna ebb and flow. And
the realization I got to yesterday in have expectations. مثلا I expect emotional support, financial, social, but just like writing your intentions or your list and using law of attraction, you write what you want, but don't expect that those things will come from that person. You're limiting yourself.
I've tried this method of like manifesting a couple of times, and I've come to the realization that instead of you putting down a list of all of the things that you expect from the other person, you need to start looking at yourself and the way that you are going to react in order to have a person like that in your life to begin with. Does that make sense? Like, you need to make it more you-centered more than them-centered, because we're so focused on the other person and how they have to be that we completely forget that in order to keep that person around, you need to act.
No.
Yeah. What you give out, the vibration that you give out, you will receive.
Exactly.
It's not as I want that, I want to be rich, I want to blah blah blah. No, you have to work and do the inner work to attract someone with the same vibration to you.
Exactly.
Energetically speaking. So
you're-
what are examples of the things that you had on your list? I'm gonna pineapple.
The things that I have on my list, you mean the things that I need to be? Like, for example, just that I'm emotionally in tune, that I'm receptive towards the other person. Like, if I want somebody who's emotionally stable, I need to be emotionally stable. Why am I expecting them to be that so that they can fix me? I need to fix me, I don't, did we talk about the you, me, and us thing in the first episode? We did, right?
I don't remember.
That there's 3 relationships, actually. It's not just one in every marriage
No,
or
we were.
relationship.
I think it was another time.
Okay, so basically there's 3 initial relationships. There is my relationship with me, your relationship with you, and then our relationship together. And they're all 3 very distinct relationships. And everybody is actually responsible for their own happiness and their own stability. You come together and you choose in love to like have an understanding and hold space for each other. But that person is not obligated to,
Make you happy.
fix, stabilize. You need to be able to show up for yourself as well as show up for the other person.
Are you your type's type?
Say that again. What?
Are you your type's type? I was thinking of that when you said, instead of thinking of what you want from the other person, am I able to give?
Okay, so
Are you your type's type?
So your
this,
type.
I still don't understand. Are you your type's type? Yeah, basically.
Cool. I think we'll stop here, and we'll come back with part 2. We'll come in, inshallah, with deeper meaning of marriage. We'll come more prepared, I think, because we'll need stats. We'll need research. We'll need especially stats, because I've been going through stats in Oman lately. It's ugh. in terms of marriages and divorce and all.
I'm
Right.
sure that because of COVID, those numbers have been.
2020 has been it's skyrocketed in 2020. So yeah.
For sure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
Wait.
Oh.
I need to say something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is he proposing?
Yes,
No.
I do.
No,
Yes,
no.
I do. Yes.
Oh my God, Mohammed,
Yes.
this is so soon. I'm sorry, but like second wife is like not my thing.
Monica, I just want to thank all the people who's been supporting us.
Yeah.
Feedbacks, comments, likes, shares.
For
Thank
sure.
you very much.
Yeah.